Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Y'all all right? I mean, what's really going on? Thank you so much for tuning in. You've tuned into Unhinged Live. I'm your host, Tilted Halo, also known in these streets as your girl Keita, and I'm sitting alongside my good girlfriend Karen Sims of Twisted Threads LLC. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Listen. We got a wonderful show prepared for you all on tonight, and you already know what it is. I might seem a little exasperated. I'm really looking forward to including tonight's guest in our conversation, but you already know what it is. But before we get into the rundown again, thank you for tuning in. I want to go ahead and say thank you to all of those out there, those of you in the streets that are going to tune in to our replay. Thank you. We appreciate you. Every spin counts. And we are just grateful that, technology gives us the ability to leave these conversations, these build sessions in a space where you can go back and rewind, pause, review, and take notes anytime you feel. So, with that being said, I'd like you to go ahead and let your fingers do the walking. Travel yourselves over to the YouTube Nation, hit like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell at Twisted Threads YouTube channel, at Unhinged Live YouTube channel, Save the Arts TV YouTube channel. And you already know, many of you are already following us here on Facebook. We're broadcasting live on our public figure pages. You know, we some creators out here. You can find us here on Facebook, Tilted Halo, Unhinged with Tilted Halo, the group where Karen and I and the rest of the tribe actively engage you all on a daily basis. We're going to share some information, entertainment, encouragement, motivation. You can have whatever you like
All
at
right.
the Tilted Halo tribe. But of course, it's going to be draped with a hefty dose of glitter to make sure that whatever it is we're giving you makes you think. All right. So let's get into the rundown. Of course, we have a guest interview planned for you tonight. We're going to get into a little bit of the views from the petty pew. We're going to take a trip merrily down the stream. And of course, we're going to get into what's going on in the world today in that roundtable segment that you all love. What's really going on? And of course, we're going to receive everything we need to do everything we actually need to push through from today to next Tuesday from our very own in-house master life coach, Karen Sims. So let me rewind it back and try and get myself together. Give me a little drink, clear my throat before I ask my sister, Karen, how you doing, girl?
I'm doing all right today. I need you to know. Cause we had a little bit of a heat wave down here in North Carolina, and I promise I'm by no means bragging. I need you to know that I survived, is what I'm trying to told you. In the heat. In the heat, I promise. But we had a couple of days. I even had to, I'm one of those tilted that I like to have the dresses on when it's super hot so that the wind could blow as it blows. That's all we're gonna say. Anything else
Well,
might be
well,
too much, might
well.
be TMI. But I had tried to put on a pair of jeans, and literally, the fiance was like, "Is you all right?" No, I am not. Turn this car around. We got to restart this whole entire situation. I am not all right. So for those of you who like to wear the tight stuff, listen, y'all can have the tight stuff in the heat all you want. When you see me, you know when it's hot outside, it's going to be something long and flowy. So if I decide to sit however I want to sit, it's going to flow. Okay, probably too much information, but that's where
Girl,
I am
bye.
today. That is where I am. It is June, I believe, because I think that today is like the first official day of summer.
That's
Somewhere,
right.
so now we are in summer, and I refuse. That's my entire statement. I refuse to allow this heat to cook me inside a roasting pan. So that's all I'm not gonna do it. Tilted. So
What's
I
up,
gotta I
girl?
gotta throw it back at you and ask how you doing.
Girl, I'm actually experiencing some melanin blessings from, all of my running amok during the Lehigh Valley Juneteenth celebratory week.
Love
I
it.
was all over the place, and I'm absolutely grateful that I was able to do that and show up for my people as only Miss Tilted can. You all already know. Listen, it was such a good time actually, reading that poem. And of course, that sparked another opportunity for myself and Tilted Halo Broadcast Media Entertainment. And I know that's long, y'all. So get used to hearing me say THB and me. I'm going to shorten that up for y'all to make it easier for you to remember. It's THBME LLC, baby. We over here and we are out here in the Lehigh Valley streets. Shout out to our super fan of the week. Let me go ahead and get that drum roll.
We're gonna work on that. Listen.
Yeah, we got to work on that. Anyway, that's not a roll. That's personal. Anyway, I want to go ahead and give a huge shout out to one of our very own. You know, I like to celebrate us, Karen. I
Yes.
gotta give a hearty shout out and thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless you. God bless you. May the Lord God bless you real good to our very own Natural D. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let
I'm
me
here
tell you
for
something.
it.
It's
Please.
very, it's very there. Listen, I can count on my one hand the amount of people that show up for me on site. All right. So, Donnell, I want to go ahead and say thank you publicly for everything you do to support me because you had my back all week. And, it's almost as if heaven opened its doors to present her, or excuse me, to represent you, Donnell, to the Lehigh Valley. I've always bragged about you being Greater Shiloh's best kept secret because I've known for many, many years everything that you carry inside you, Donnell. And baby, my heart was absolutely blessed to the point of overflow to see you stand there boldly and even check me because I wasn't saying your name. You boldly stood there and introduced yourself as Donnell, the woman that is yet becoming, the woman that is yet growing. But baby, don't you dare stop. I'm loving everything I'm seeing from you right now. I'm proud of how you wrangled your line, your sister sorors from different branches of your sorority and got them out there. And honey, I was running down the streets. I got to send you the photos I took of you marching down in the parade. That's right. Donnell, don't stop, girl. And you already know we got your prayer request. And your big sisters are right here praying for you. Yes, I'm talking about you, Donnell. I see you in the chat. We are talking about you. You are the fan out shout out for the week. You picked up my slack. And when it was time for me to pray, you kept the motto. Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. Karen, this girl came out her bag with the oil. She came
Listen.
out her bag with the oil
Listen.
because
Y'all, they don't know nothing about that. They don't know nothing about that. They
she
don't know
knew what was getting ready to go down, and she stood by me and made sure I got back to my car safely. Y'all know I'm just recovering from a outpatient surgical procedure, and I mean to see my sister, she's just always there. So I want to thank you publicly, Donnell. I know who you are, and the world ain't ready for you. All
nothing.
right, they ain't ready. They ain't ready. They want to talk about people that slept on me, baby. They've been sleeping on you for far too long. So I'm excited to see where God will take you past this moment in time. You have anything to share, Karen?
I'm excited. I am excited. I'd say more, but I don't have to. I'm excited for what's coming, for what the world gets a glimpse of, that spark. And it's an interesting thing because it's been there. It's been there. But I love how you said the reintroduction because Natural D, we know you've been dope for a long time. And so now the opportunity comes that it's not just that regular dopeness, it's that cast iron seasoned dopeness that's coming out. A lot of y'all don't know nothing about that. But when that pan gets seasoned and then you really try to make that homemade cornbread or to put something like actually in that pot, come on through. Come on
Yes.
through. So be
All the extra
excited.
flavors weave up in there.
Flavor in your ear,
Wait,
in your presence, in the
Natural
places.
D got the flavor in ear. Who got the brand new flavor in your ear?
Listen,
Natural D got that flavor in your ear. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I
we
just felt
we
the
we are
flow.
hyped today. I'm gonna tell you, we hyped today. See, Natural D, we hyped because of you, but you know, Keita, we also hyped because we got a special guest that's coming through in the
Yeah,
hallway, and so
yeah. I
I know we
think I
gotta
see somebody.
announce. You know what we did we do the announcement of what the peoples is gonna expect today? Like I know I'm so excited. I don't even know if I'm in order right now. So I'm gonna throw it back
Girl,
to
you know,
you.
I had already gave the rundown, but I think all this glitter I had just blasted you, Donnell, with causes temporary state of confusion for both of
It
us.
is, it is, it is. And then it's so exciting because here's what we get to do. I need you to understand that when people come on and they spend time with us, it's a nice thing. You know, people are so happy to be invited. But we are surrounded, tilted, with so much dopeness, with
Yeah.
so much glitter, with so many amazing people that it makes me overjoyed to be blessed. And so, listen, I'm bringing a special guest from the hallway, and I need to just say something real quick before we get in here, because you know we was texting back and forth, like, sis, you coming on, and let me tell you who this person is. This person has the actual phone number and understands that when she takes the moment to have the audacity, I'm saying it just like that, to dial the digits, she know I'm an answer. She know I'm an answer. Now I'm supposed to, you know, give an actual intro to her and whatnot, but we gonna bring in the wonderful Miss Ayanna Stringfield, and she is not only representing herself, but this is a businesswoman. This is a icon of dopeness. This is a community, not just organizer, but I'm going to say engagement specialist. Because if you need something that means something to the people, our girl Ayanna is it. And I promise you, she
What's
blessed
up,
me.
boo?
What
Oh, I'm
is
sorry.
good,
Now, y'all.
sister? My goodness, wait a minute. I don't know. Let me check my shoulders to make sure I can handle all of that.
Shake them,
You
shake
know
them,
what I
shake
mean?
them,
Like, let me
shake them,
just.
shake them up, shake them.
Uh,
Listen,
That's right.
uh,
Just
all right.
get used to
I
wearing
can.
that.
I think.
Get
I
used to
think they.
wearing that.
I think they
Yeah,
strong enough. I think they strong enough.
that's
I think
right.
God prepared me. He put the shoulder
listen.
pads and all of that stuff. And yeah,
Shoulder pads are back in
I'm
style.
good.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
What's up, sisters? Thank y'all so much. Thank you for having me.
We are so super
No
excited. Now,
problem.
listen, for those of you who frequent and y'all come on these shows every now and then, our sister Ayanna will keep the comment streets lit when we get on it. Okay. So now we
Well,
get to see
before
her in person.
Yeah, before we get into it, because you didn't talked about these comment streets, and I see we got a bunch of new folks joining us. So I want to go ahead and acknowledge. Look, she ain't new. First of all, this one here is stop, just designer extraordinaire, just fashionista diva extraordinaire, masterfully craftful with a crochet needle. What's up, Shelby? We see you of Lawson's Accessories. We
Shelby
see
in the
you in the
building.
chat room.
Hey.
Thank you for joining us. And I see Miss
Yes.
Rashida Bannerman. She's giving us a shout out and showing love
Rashida.
from
Hey,
Clinton, Maryland
Rashida.
on tonight. Thank you so much for
Hey.
tuning in. And of course, a brother in the faith. Shout out to the old deacon himself. What's up, brother Calvin Taylor? I see you. That's another piece of our North Jersey fam right there. So thank you all for tuning in on tonight. We really appreciate you. You know, again, we got some good home training, and though we are queenagers, we ain't forgot how to be gracious
Mm,
to those who show us love. So I'm sorry again, Karen, for cutting you
listen,
off. I'm gonna
we
go
are
ahead and toss the
flowing.
mic back to you.
That is not even a cutoff. When we get into this kind of remix and knowing, the energy that we're bringing, the realness that we're bringing to the people, this is something that was super exciting for, I know, both of us, because Ayanna, we was talking, we've already said, listen, we need you in the seat on the show, so we done took you from the comments into the seat to be
what
on
we talking
here.
about? Ooh, yes. What we
Listen,
get into? Let's get into
listen. Brace yourself, because for the next couple of minutes, we talking about you.
Oh, well.
We talking to you about you. We gonna get to some more stuff.
Hard to
we
do.
Gonna get, but you know what? I know that it's gonna come from the heart. I know that it's coming from all that you're doing. So for the people, Ayanna, who have not yet experienced the full extent of the dopeness that we get snippets of, I promise, we get snippets of the full effect. Can you tell us a little bit about you, your upbringing, your background, and maybe I don't know, 2 minutes?
I love this.
Where you from, where you are, and then talk. We'll get into the next. So we're gonna let them take that nugget, and then we're gonna get into some more about you.
Yeah. How do I sum this up? To hear you say that, all those accolades, and I didn't feel that way growing up. You know what I mean? This Ayanna that you see right here today, that wasn't her. That wasn't her growing up in the Bronx. I wasn't the favorite. I wasn't you know what I'm saying? I just did. So I went into my own little space and was comfortable there. Whoever wanted to come in, you know what I mean? I wasn't trying hard to fit in other spaces because I was made to feel that I didn't belong. You understand what I'm saying? At some point, didn't understand what that was then. But in my 50s, I understand what it was. God had me separated. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so, but it wasn't easy, and the confidence wasn't through the roof when I was growing up. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about the Bronx, New York, live 21 stories of a building, 8 apartments on each floor, all these different, personalities you going across, riding from the 20th floor down to the lobby. You know what I'm saying? Walking to school, oh man. So, being, a little chubby kid, was always a little chubster. Okay. I remember my father, when we used to go shopping, he say, where the chubby, we walk in the Gimbals. Where the chubby section? Where the chubby section? I'd be like,
y'all youngins don't know nothing about no Gimbals.
I was like, Dad. I was like, Daddy, keep it, you know what I mean? But and his Virgo, hey Nikita, look, and his Virgo,
shout out to the Virgos,
and his Virgo September 1st self, moving fast, where the chubby section. So I was always like, can we just make this real quick, but
right.
But so just to sum who Ayanna is now, beautiful flower is the meaning of my name. So God actually had all of this planned. It's not by accident. I was born in the spring. My father, named me Ayanna, looked it up in the West African book, Swahili. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful flower, and there I am, and I just so happen I can't keep my hands out of dirt.
Now we're going to get into that.
Wait. And that's literally and figuratively. No, I'm serious.
We're gonna get into that.
Okay,
what exactly does that mean? Because everything that you share, it's like, yep, that's her. Because even though it was like, maybe you didn't feel like you were set apart, but the special items don't stay on the regular shelf. They on the top. They away from, it's like, listen, I'm looking for that special order, customized thing. And we can appreciate now what we didn't understand in our younger selves. But I know ain't nobody selective around about who they spend time with, like my sister Ayanna. I promise. Ayanna, this it.
She's stranger than me. She's stranger than me, Karen.
Keita.
Because you know I'm real strange
You
with
know
who I
I
keep
don't
company
talk
with.
behind nobody's back. My sister, but because okay, so she was influenced by that Virgo. Because although she was born in the spring, sis, you know I'm not telling no tales when I say she will get at you in love. You know that you will be like, listen, this energy ain't seeming like you want to be here, or this ain't for you. I thankfully welcome you to find the nearest exit so that we could keep this joy and peace in a balance. Listen, I learned lessons from how nice she is with the you could goodbye right now.
Word. So that clearly I need to call you and take some notes because I'm good.
It's
But I
hard.
promise you.
It's hard though, but I just want, I think with, and where that comes from is the social media has made us so antisocial.
Ooh.
It has given us too much liberty to peer in and peer out of people's lives. You know what I mean? It doesn't, it's no more authenticity. It's like, let me just see, are you here for me or are you just peeking? And it's nobody's fault because we all do it. It's nobody's innocent. And this the way social media has set it up that way. You know what I mean? So that's where that energy comes from. It's like if you're walking down the street and you say hello to somebody, you get an immediate response. I mean, unless they're just being But social media allows us to be like, I don't think I want to speak today.
Girl,
Somebody say hello, good morning, and in a group, especially. And I'm not talking about on our feed or whatever, but I'm saying if
right,
we're in a
right.
group, right? If we're in a group and we all have communicated or whatever, if somebody say good morning in the group, say good morning back. You don't see, so that's all, I don't want to beat, that's a dead horse, but yeah, so that's where that comes from. But I love everybody to communicate and communication avoids all arguments.
Can you
That's
say that again, sis, for the people in the back?
Communication avoids all arguments. Like really, like communication, I mean, it's easier said than done sometimes, but that's the root. Miscommunication is the root of all problems.
but
Yes, it definitely is.
here's one thing that I'm reminded of, and I remember hearing it, and it might have been Janelle Monáe, but it was somebody that was a celebrity, and it was they were saying that respectability politics, similar to what we see on social media, causes us to pull back in communication. And then now y'all know we watch enough of these movies, whether it's Lifetime, BET, it don't Hallmark, it don't matter. You know where the plot and the drama start when they stop communicating and they thought they had saw something that they didn't see, or the thought was in their head and somebody said something the wrong thing, but instead of taking 5 minutes to clear it up, then we got to see the story 20 years later because ain't nobody talk to each other. Imagine how much time we waste by not communicating, then
Mm.
taking that 5 minutes and adding substance, peace, joy, good people in our lives by taking a moment of boldness. Because a lot of us, you say, I'm gonna say it a different way, sis. We use these internets when we know that we punks for real. Don't be not
Oh,
do it. If you a scary one, be that same scary one in these comments, okay? Be that. Whoever you want to represent yourself as. Like, this has been, we've been on here, probably most of us, for about maybe 13 to 15 years. Most of us been on here. I started getting on social media just to be nosy to see what the kids was doing. Because somebody said that's what you're supposed to do as a parent. Like, you're supposed to, see what that. Now I'm on here more than them. They not on these pages and I'm on here. But when we think about that respectability politics and think about the personas that we've created on here, a lot of times people don't know us. They don't know. And then you hesitate because you're thinking like, well, I got 1,000 friends. I don't know 1,000 of y'all. I'm not even going to tell y'all no tale. But when I see y'all pop up, we praying for y'all. We getting it in. So here's the thing, because you started talking, sis, about playing in the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I know, I consider you like a gardening hero to me, because like you could take something that I'm talented in particular areas. Okay, that is not one of my organic particular areas, but I've learned how to do some things by following you and knowing more. So can you talk to us, explain your love of
Mm,
planting the gardening,
mm,
and how you've taken that to add some kind of holistic approaches to how you
mm-hmm.
live your life?
Mm-hmm. Well, I tell you, remember the mud pie days? We was playing in the. Well, it didn't stop there. I was like, well, I would bring home plants, and that's how I realized. That's when I realized I was allergic to pollen. I picked some flowers. I was about 12 years old. I picked some flowers for my mother and brought it to her. By the time I got them to her, my eyes swelled up and everything. I was so allergic. So for me to be able to smell the roses and garden, I just feel like I'm just called to it, I guess. I took the immunization, I guess you could say, of going through the allergic season and time of my life, and I started growing food in 2019, right before COVID. Okay, so I always had plants and tended to plants around the house and everything like that. But the food, the sustainability part of it came in 2019. God was preparing me for what was to come. Because in all honesty, there'll come a time when we gotta learn these things. We gotta learn how to, start seed germinating in a paper towel, and having some grow lights. If you don't have, the backyard, at least you can grow something to sustain yourself. You'll have those keys. And like I said, God foreknew who Ayanna beautiful flower was going to be. And so yeah, I just love it. I love it. It's therapy. I relate everything that, the growing season is related to us in our life. You got to prune some things right now. My garden, I got weeds. Usually I would be picking up weeds because of the aesthetics, right? This season, for some reason, I'm led to let some weeds stay. And guess what? They're medicinal. We've been
Yes.
we've been taught to rip up everything that don't look good. Oh, what's a weed? Oh, nah, you throwing away
Mm-mm.
medicine. Dandelion being one. And God in his soul dopeness,
Yes,
he
dope
gives
God.
us he gives us the notification, would you, if you will, by a flower like dandelion. Y'all pulling up that dandelion. You go to the supermarket right now, dandelion might be $3 a bunch.
Woo!
Mm-hmm.
And that's a blood cleaner, and it's a cleaner. It's a detoxer. It's one of the greens that you will put in a smoothie. And here we go. Ew, So look, I did,
Okay.
but it was so much on my property that I did pull some and I did use some. And my Western mind was telling me, "Ooh, what if my throat starts?" But I had to trust, right? So going back to who Beautiful Flower is a space, and anybody is welcome who is trusting the word of God. Trust him when he says in Genesis 1:29 that he has given us all seed bearing fruits, and all of that to heal ourselves, prevent disease and everything. So I could go on and on, but so when I get into the earth, when I get my hands dirty, you know I get revelation, and I just relate it to life, my life. You know what I mean? And everything that may be bad around me might not necessarily be bad for me. It may be good for me to grow. You
Get
know what
off
I
my
mean?
word. Stop. Just say it. Time out, Queen Ayana.
Okay, let me let
You
me let
you
me let
on
me
it. You all in my just be outro right now. You got to leave something for the host at the
Okay,
table,
okay,
all
all
right?
right. See,
You
all
all
right.
in it, and it's
Mm.
okay though, all right? Because you're gonna be able to offer some last words before we close as well. But if you could see my paper and what I had actually wrote down, because y'all know I don't really write much. But when it comes, I have to write it. So listen, you are dead on the money with how we need those weeds. They are necessary for our growth, and I'm so glad you shared that the way you did. Someone in the comments basically said that'll preach, and I believe that was actually was that Natural D who said it or
Yes.
somebody
Yep.
that was
Yep.
Natural D. Yeah, that will preach because like I had to stop you. You in my just be outro. All right, so check it out. I really want to know from you because I've recently had some health challenges. Well, they ain't even challenged because they've been handled by our Father. Listen, I've recently had some things, and maybe this may not be for me. This might be for someone in the listening audience. But can you share with us how taking charge of your health manifested benefits in other areas of your life? Specifically how you've taken charge of your health from the holistic standpoint. How, how,
Mhm.
how, how has that benefited you in other areas of your life?
Mhm. And my spiritual growth, and because it's all connected, and how I related that was when I started fasting, doing the corporate fast, and we were doing specifically the Daniel fast, right? So reaching back to that, when I joined, when did I join Shiloh? I joined Shiloh in 2002, right? And was introduced to the corporate fast in January, I would say maybe that next year or so. And I was like, woo, what? Woo, not, no eating. What? Can't eat what? You know,
As
and
I reach for a
it was
cookie. Uh-huh.
I didn't grow up in the church. That's another thing. I didn't grow up in the church. But I knew to belong, or I knew to be stirred in that direction because my great grandmother, she was a prayer warrior, a woman of God, so I wasn't far from, I wasn't unreachable. I would still go do the East thing with the little bonnet and all that stuff, Sunday, early morning. But anyway, um, fasting brought me to that realization of this is how it's supposed to be. And because I remember feeling better, skin clearing up, energy, this and that. But when that fast was over, I was like, whoo, whoo, where we going to eat? You know what I mean? It was just for that time. You see what I mean? Trying to reach those
Mm-hmm.
spiritual levels. I was on a spiritual alignment and not a healthier alignment, right?
Mm.
Because once it was over, it was like, you know, but I remember feeling that way. So as I'm walking and growing and learning and sustaining and things like that, I know that that's how God wants us. He wants us in that clear mindset. He don't want us overloaded in fats and alcohol and all of that. And so I'm about, let's all help each other. I got a thing on my page, late bloomers, and it's not too late for us 40 and up to, grab a hold of this and do it together. Now, I should have said a disclaimer. This is, I'm not trying to, I don't have all the answers. I'm just living by experience and sharing my experience. And I know there's others out there, you know, and we're in this together. Come on, it wouldn't be all these diet fads and all
Mm.
this stuff and all these groups and stuff if it wasn't a problem, and if it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
if it wasn't easy for everybody to just, I'm just gonna be healthy. We've been trained, and it's so hard to be unlearned of the way we are eating and stuff like that. So,
Good stuff. Good stuff. I appreciate that you shared how you immediately noticed the difference in how your body was functioning and feeling in its functionality after you jumped off the fast and went back to eating the things you were familiar with. I know I've had that same experience personally, and I legit now live a lifestyle because thick girls could be healthy too, y'all. Don't get it twisted. I don't eat a lot of processed food. Everything has to be cooked, or I'm not going to eat. Period. So I'm grateful that you shared that, especially for those of you in the audience who are over the age of 40. Life starts to get real different when we hit 40, and I'm
Starts to
certain both of
flip.
y'all. Yeah, girl, listen, I didn't need glasses until I turned 40. That is real. And I'm praying to find a herb or something I can mix up down in my kitchen to help me bring back some of my vision that these computer screens and things have just taken up out of my eye sockets, and not have to pay for these glasses the way I do. So y'all don't realize I really am Mrs. Magoo. So I have Kimberly Denise saying, good evening, ladies. Hey, Miss Kimberly, we see you. Thank you for joining us. So check it out. On to the next question. Miss Lady, what inspired you to start Beautiful Flower Enterprises? And can you
Oh,
share
I
a little
love
bit
this.
about what Beautiful Flower Enterprises is all about?
Yes, I love this question because I get to shine a light on someone else, and that someone is a Tia. A Tia is a sister that I work with, and before COVID, and we were all coming into the office. She was inspired by me drinking juice. But just in conversation, I would bring I would have my juice in the common area and put in the refrigerator and stuff like that. And we just got on a subject of, wanting to, be more healthy. And I brought in some juice. And later on that day, she put $20 on my desk and was like, "You need to market this." I was like, "Huh?"
I
I
love
was
it.
like, "Huh? Huh? What?" No. But no, so she said, she was like, "Yeah, sis, you need to sell some juice." And it took a while, and I was basically just supplying the office and did my first vending, I would say that next October, and acquired more clients in Philadelphia. And so Beautiful Flower, incorporating the juice, incorporating the growing, gardening, which I'm going to be picking back up with the classes, and kind of like guiding people into, starting their own garden. And the juices, we're pretty much, and I say we because I feel like this is an all inclusive kind of space, and thriving together. Um, that's pretty much where we at with it. We're just here to, let's grow together. Let's sustain, share, share together, recipes or whatever,
Yeah.
challenges,
Well,
so
I'm so grateful that we've been connected all these years, and no matter how far we are apart from each other, we can always tap in and get the information that we need. And I'm definitely gonna be tapping in because I don't know if you could see Beyonce, Kelly, Michelle, and Lil Ma behind me. That's my plant family that I started a few months ago.
yeah.
Since people keep telling me as someone who's an empty nester that I need to get a
Mm.
dog or a cat, and I'm just enjoying the fact that with the current rate of inflation, I don't have to really feed nobody but myself. So I decided to feed the plants
I
and
know
really
that's right.
learn them,
Yeah.
to bring them life. Yeah, yes, yes, yes.
He
Karen,
could.
Karen, I'm gonna need you to stop chuckling. Yeah, I did
Okay.
name my
You
flowers
see,
Destiny's Child. And look, y'all
that's
know I'll do
prophetic.
this.
That's prophetic.
Beyonce back there acting
Listen,
up.
you're gonna have
Beyonce
to
back
throw
there
some
acting up.
seeds. You're gonna have to throw some seeds in the pot, some food in the pot.
For which one? Look, don't make me bring on
I
my babies and get a whole
we go
assessment on
we go
air.
we're gonna get you gardening, indoor,
Cause
outdoor.
yeah, I'm indoor because I own this property. So we doing it inside for
That's
now.
okay. You got
So
some light. You got some light
yeah.
coming in them windows.
Yeah,
I
I
ain't gonna
open
tell
that
you.
up. I
I,
open it up when I leave because these my babies and they thriving. Beyonce
Mm-hmm.
growing extra flowers, and
Yeah.
Kelly over here showing out. She's standing up for herself. Michelle, unfortunately, is struggling. I have to move her every now and again. She needs a little extra attention, you know. And little Ma is just little Ma. She's
But
just doing her
Nikita,
thing.
tell me, when you put some water, don't you feel a sense of accomplishment or
Listen,
something? Even watering your plants, right?
girl,
Don't you? Don't
can
you
I
look at
share
them?
with you? Can I
Please. What's
share
your
with you?
experience with
I get
Beyonce and
up
them?
the morning, and I guess this is why I named them what I named them, because I've been a fan of the Destiny's Children since the inception till today, all of them, even the ones that got kicked out the group. But I get up in the morning, and as I'm getting myself together, I make sure I make time to stop and see what my babies are doing, and that helps me determine what they need. And one thing I realized, and I was like, am I tripping? No, this is not me tripping. I touch my plants, I touch the leaves, and I talk to them. And I promise you, I felt like an energy coming up out of these leaves one day. And I felt myself. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so therapeutic, to the
Mm-hmm.
point. Me and Beyonce, I like to touch her and make sure she's fluffy and she stays fly. She good. But when I get with Kelly, she has a denser leaf, and she has rendered some beautiful green leaves, some rich green leaves. I like to play at her in her roots in her soil, because it's clear there, and her soil is so good. It's hard to explain. Only another plant lover, plant mom, can understand the dialogue you and I are having right now, Ayanna. And then,
Yeah.
I missed a whole bunch in between waterings. You know, my hair ain't the only thing getting spring water. My plants get spring water too. So I miss them, and I watch how they light up when they're properly cared for.
Yeah.
And I noticed that they were actually droopy after we went through Ashgate 2023, the Canadian
Oh,
Ashgate, when
oh my goodness.
my plants suffered. One of
Well,
Beyonce's, talk to me.
she was saving your life in a way because
Yes, talk about
plants
it.
because plants clear the air. You know what I mean? Plants. She was just overworked, but she wasn't. You know what I mean? You were more in trouble than she was.
Yeah, but I'm glad I have Beyonce behind me. I told them last week that Beyonce, during the Ashgate broadcast, that they
Because
was back there
plants,
protecting my
yeah,
life. I
yeah,
told
child.
y'all that.
They said
Trees. This is why, like um in hoods, or I should say inner cities, they need more they need more trees. They take away the trees, and certain neighborhoods, they have the tree lined streets. It's not only physically healing, but it's mentally healing too. What I mean? You don't want to just walk out and see just concrete all the time.
that's right.
You
Not
know,
all the time.
you know what I'm saying? You want to see some green, some life.
Yes, yes,
And so that's
yes.
another, oh, I know, I would love to come back and talk about, like, our situation, and how it's designed and things like that. But, okay, going back over
Oh,
there.
Listen,
So,
the door is open at all times. We promise.
always, sis.
but, so anyway, yes, green plants. She was
Yes.
helping you out with the air quality system.
I love it.
Yes, I
I love it.
recognize that. She wounded, but we're gonna bring her back to life. Go ahead,
Hmm.
Karen.
Gonna
I'm
be all
sorry.
right. You're gonna be all right. So listen, the time goes so quick when we on here. I told y'all it was gonna be a blast today. I told you never know where we will go. So listen, I got we had a whole host of other questions,
Ooh.
but there's something that popped in my head about your life experiences, Ayanna, that really kind of resonated with me because we always blame Natural LD because she started talking about passports, and then it put it in my head about you literally being a world traveler. And how has the expansion of your travel influenced who you continue to become?
Mm, mm. Yes, yes, yes. Once you get a taste of it, honey, you want to see more and more and more. I, you know, I because God is so creative,
Yes.
and He has given us. We haven't even touched a corner of the mass canvas of His creation, and it's just so much to see. And when I took my trip to Egypt, which we know that was changed, and that's a whole nother story. I
You
went
coming
to
back.
Egypt.
Hmm.
I went to Egypt looking for answers on a spiritual religious what I was trying to find some answers, right?
Love it.
um as far as Christianity is concerned, and just going outside the box. Everybody was like, well, why wouldn't you go to Jerusalem? I don't know. I was led to ancient Egypt, Kemet. Okay. And
Oh,
ooh,
I'm sorry. I
mm-mm-mm.
put the
I
stank
knew
face
Keita
on.
would love this. I knew Keita would love
Hmm.
it.
Because I'm all in my
So
Africanness. Go ahead.
yeah. And not for nothing, because now, like I said, I didn't grow up in church and this, and this big head of mine says, well, I need, I will never try to how should I say, intellectualize God, right? No, because I believe a lot of atheists, because they can't intellectualize God. Oh, he just don't exist. No, I truly know God exists, right? But I want to understand, where was the Christianity versus the foundation? What was we doing before Christianity? We were spiritual beings.
Right.
We are
Free.
very connected. So I know what was we. I know we were worshiping, right? But we were told
Yes.
we was worshiping, things that we wasn't supposed to worship and things like that.
Girl, you
But
talking right.
Christianity, I got to be careful with stepping lightly. I went to Egypt looking for answers. So with that influence, it it leads you down a path. One, you want to see more of the world. Two, you want to go places. Not just me personally, I like to learn.
Right.
So my steps are ordered in that direction for educational purposes, and also, chill, hitting the Caribbean and all that. Karen, remember that
And
cruise? Lord, what year
we
was
talking about
that?
you right now. We talking.
I
Don't
know,
worry about that.
I know.
Ah, what's that? What was
No,
that? It was
but that
like
was like, yeah, so we did doing the Caribbean and stuff like that. So the international,
yeah.
touching continents, 2019, and that right there has led me to want to just, learn and explore, as much as I can, as much as I can. It feels like I don't have much time, so much to see.
But that urgency really, we talked about our queenager status. So we got a couple of we got a handful of decades literally under our belt, and what that means for it's just no time to play. Like we literally got to be about it.
And that's another thing that leads me into, okay, I got to do something to preserve. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? I don't want to
yeah,
get sick and start cutting time off. So I got to
yeah,
do something to preserve also.
yeah,
This ain't about
Hmm.
aesthetics. This ain't about aesthetics. Beautiful flower is not about aesthetics at this point. Okay, it's about trying to stay healthy. It's about trying to, just take care of the temple,
yeah.
so we could see things and travel and move around. Look at all the grandkids, you've got, and your
Mhm.
grandbabies, and my cousin. We just had a beautiful baby boy delivered on the 16th. You know,
So
and I got another little
welcome,
baby cousin
family.
that's gonna be one
Hey.
in November. So it's about, you know what I'm saying, just
Being here to
be,
see all of that.
being here to see all of that,
Well,
So
the time is running along, but I want you to share with our listeners how they can get connected with you. How can they learn more about the work you're doing with Beautiful Flower Enterprises, be able to get some product as you make it available, all of
oh,
that.
I know, right? So right now I have my Instagram. It's kind of weaky. That's another thing too. I gotta get up on because right now it's just like a local thing, a hand in hand kind of,
Mm-hmm.
tangible kind of space. But I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm doing my little shipments right now. Everything is, local. But yeah, my beautiful flower enterprises on Instagram, and the website will be popping. You can get to the
It's all
website,
right.
you know.
You coming back.
Listen,
You're
yeah,
coming
Okay.
back
we
because we
appreciate you.
really,
Yeah, being here.
yeah, we really have to continue to build on all the information you shared with us tonight. And you already said it, Karen. You knew I was going to ride hard when she got into the conversation, when you got into the conversation, Ayanna, about going back to Africa for answers. I know when I lost my mother, the Lord, thank God for technology. He took me into Africa via the internet because I was locked in this house during COVID. And I became the matriarch of sorts for my family when my mother passed away. So I needed to understand. And baby, Holy Spirit directed me to study in Africa first and then bring it back to the Western side. So that's how y'all see all this brand new swag, Key, to bring in your ear. So for those of you who are tuning in, thank you so much. We are Unhinged Live. I'm Tilted Halo, sitting alongside my good girlfriend, Karen Sims, and our beautiful flower of a guest on tonight, Miss Ayanna, Queen Ayanna Stringfield. We're so grateful for all the meaty nuggets that you have shared on tonight. But we gotta keep it pushing because time is running out on us, Karen.
Yes. Time is jet.
We said
Time is just
I knew
flying.
what it was gonna be. I knew what it was
Yeah,
gonna
girl.
be. I knew
So
the
I'm
folks was
glad
gonna
we,
be in the comments.
yeah, I'm glad that we get to do whatever we wants to do on this here our platform. So we're gonna edit some things, and we're gonna go ahead and take a pause because I gotta acknowledge someone else who did something absolutely amazing for THBME LLC on this week. You thought I wasn't going to do it? Listen, again, we get to do what we want to do because it's our show. So I need another drum roll because I gotta acknowledge another fan, Karen.
I'm telling you, we working
Oh,
on it.
that's better. That's better. That's
There we
better.
go.
I like that. But check it out. I gotta go ahead and give a huge shout out and virtual hug of love to our sister Val Marie, Val Marie Higginbottom. Listen, y'all done heard us singing that little raggedy jingle. It's not raggedy, okay?
Thank you.
Because Natural D and Karen know that I sang to them something that was in my head and I was trying to get it together, but I know what my gifting is, so I stay in my lane.
Mhm.
Listen, Valerie, thank you so much. We can't let y'all listen to it, but Valerie done went into the studio and child, she has blessed the platform with our own little jingle. We jingling over here. Jingle. We jingling over here. Hey, hey, listen, listen. If this thing that she laid out was not exactly what I was humming to you, Karen, and you, Naturality, if it's she laid that thing all the way out. So sometimes, God does things and he shows up where you can just like not deny that was God. So thank you for how connected we stay and have been throughout the years, Valerie, to the point where you caught my vibe and took it to the studio and presented me something so great. I was humbled to the point of tears. Thank you so much. Y'all, we getting ready for season 3, is it? Here at THBME of the Unhinged Live show. So we hope to have that ready because we
It's
got to
gonna be
copyright and
ready.
protect our stuff. We
Yeah,
got to
it's gonna be
copyright our
ready.
stuff
It's gonna be
before
ready.
we can release it out here in these streets. But it's done. I already got it in my pocket. I'm just trying to figure out what bars I want to lay on top of it. Y'all know Tilted got bars. Y'all know Tilted got bars.
When
Hey,
I
Rashida,
when I,
thank you.
when I tell
Stick
you,
around if you can. Mm-hmm.
when
Again,
I
to hang
tell
out with
you
you.
how blessed, how blessed we are, and the excitement because we as we prepare, that means that we got to close out a season to get ready for the next one. and it's so much fire that's coming in these next these like weeks of what this is as we're ending our season 2, that it's like wow, and it's more and it's more and it's more and it's more, and it's just amazing how the nuggets continue to drop, how the nuggets continue
Yeah,
to drop. So
yeah, I could not let the night progress without doing
I'm
that, Karen,
glad,
because
I appreciate it. Plus I
yeah,
can't
man,
hold
because
water. I can't hold
yeah,
water.
because the Bible had told us, and I'm Bible saved out these streets. The Bible told us that it is a wise servant that comes back to say thank you.
Thank
And y'all
you.
know we ain't nothing but a gang of servant leaders here
Thank
on the
you.
platform. So I have no problem saying or sharing a word of thanks publicly for
Yes.
anything that anyone does for me. All right. So we're gonna move right along, and we're gonna move briefly into Karen. You done wrote something down.
I had
Um,
to do it. I'm sorry.
look, I got to get my motherboard fan
You know we
because
got
we about to
production.
move into it. We about to move into it. We about to. That's all right. I got an extra fan. I wish I could hand it to you through the screen, but it's okay.
Well, hold up,
It's
I got
about
one
to
too.
be
Over here. Let me get my
views
fan.
from the petty pew. Karen, you wrote it down, and I'm so glad you did.
But hold
I
up, but
got to.
why I wasn't even
Come
on?
on.
Well,
Come
hold
on.
up, and this is only because I'm in my 50s now.
Yeah, girl,
So
I got them in
I
every
got
color,
look,
everywhere.
look, look.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. So check it
Everywhere.
out. We're in a season where we're seeing a lot of people celebrate, and then we also see that there's been a lot of people who've suffered a loss of a loved one. And we're gonna take it and we're gonna, because y'all be saying some ill stuff. Today's view from the pedicure is what not to say when someone is grieving. Karen, you done took on that gangster lean. I gotta toss the mic because I need to know what you got to say.
So here's the challenge for me, and one of the parts of sisterhood that the three of us have is that our mothers have gone on. And so we may or may not have experienced how to keep a straight face when well-intentioned folks say the goofiest stuff. It's like, am I supposed to respond to that? Like, and then sometimes I'll say for me, be like, Ma, was I supposed to say something to that? Because my response is not. So, we have a dear sister who has experienced a very traumatic loss, and this is the reason why. And so we're standing with her during the loss of her daughter. And she put it on blast from somebody else saying, here's not to say. And I find it so difficult all the time of, did you hear what you was about to say before you open your mouth and let those words slip between your teeth and your tongue? Like,
Preach, Karen.
I got questions on if you know that someone is suffering. Understand this, and this is something that I know many of us during these last 3.5, almost 4 years have learned. Grief looks different for every individual. It doesn't matter that, me and my sister experienced the loss of my mom at the same time. Her grief experience is not mine. Mine is not hers. And we have the right to walk through that grief experience. But doggone it!
Watch your mouth.
Come
Oh, I'm
on!
sorry. Watch your mouth.
Thank you.
Because it
Think
could be
about what
whatever.
you're saying.
Oh, I'm
Think
sorry.
about what you're saying. Because listen, we may or may not have a fully godly response while we grieving. Let me say that, okay? Somebody could get told off for the cussing saints. Y'all know they could get cussed out because they done said the wrong thing. So views from the
The
petty pew.
wrong thing.
Ayanna, listen, this what we do when it's views from the petty pew. From the petty pew, we may not be as holy as on the other days, but we
Can I share?
Yeah, please do.
Can I share? Can I
Please
share one little scenario from when my mommy passed away? Listen, I had my friend Massey. Shout out to Massey, was with me that day because she was part of my COVID cluster, and
Awesome.
because we would have Bible study on Wednesday nights and really get in depth and search the word for what she wanted to learn. So check it out. She watched me morph into something that was so ungodly. But before I did it, I knew it because I felt it rising, and my Holy Ghost shine on. I just wasn't doing it wasn't fully girded up that day. And I got this text message, and all I did was I raised my hand and I said, Lord, forgive me now for what I'm fitting to do. Woof. And then I went in. Okay. And the agitator that came through my T-Mobile cell phone service at that time, it was Sprint. The agitator that came through my Sprint mobile data plan, my unlimited, that I still limit use of. Listen, she came at me wrong. And baby, let me just say that my Virgo replaced the sign of Christ in my life. Listen, the Virgo came out, honey, and anybody who knows the Virgo, we trying to take you all the way out with 5 phrases. So at the end of the day, whatever I said in that moment got me labeled as the outcast of the family. And you know what? I'm cool with that, because out here where I've been casted, I've been able to walk in peace and embrace my grief process the way I need to embrace my process. So be careful what y'all say to people. We're lifting up our sister who suffered such a traumatic loss. And I actually picked up the phone the moment I saw her text message, because I was asleep when it came through. And the first thing that came out of my mouth was this: I don't have any words. You know why I don't have any words? Because I have not lived the experience of having to bury a 20-year-old human being that I actually gave birth to. I've miscarried, but I didn't get to braid his hair. I did not get to help him with his homework. This is a whole human that she has to lay to rest. I wasn't going to fake the funk and say the common answer. Oh, I know how you feel. She in a better place. Look, put that baby on screen. You know I love the fur babies. But yeah, she, I just said to her, I don't have any words. But all I'm here to do is to mourn with those who mourn.
Yeah.
And then we took that example from the book of Job. What not to do.
That's it.
When Job's friends was talking to him crazy. When Job's wife was talking to him crazy. What did Job say? Though he slay me, yet will I trust him. So that became a banner anthem for me. And Free, we love you, sis. Ain't never stop praying.
No,
Ain't gonna stop praying.
Love bombs.
We love bombing you.
Standing with you.
We are standing with you, covering you, because we know your heart. You're an eagle sister. So we see how you move in. And just know that Jireh is with you the entire time. And as y'all got you, girl. All right. So moving right along, we ain't even gonna be able to go into a break tonight, because I really want to.
I know. Well, wait, Keita, we gotta ask. This your first time being on the side of the petty pew, Ayanna. Anything to add to what was already said?
To the
views from the petty pew. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. Well, I miss it.
What not to say during grief. Cool. That's all right.
Yeah,
thank you for reminding me I got good home training parents.
It was definitely tough. The one was I know how you feel. That's something you don't, and I think people, think it's, they can imagine, but you don't know how I feel.
That part, yeah.
That was the one that was just like, ooh, you don't know how I feel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah. So sometimes silence, the ministry of presence is a huge thing. It really is. All you gotta do is be present.
It's a wonder.
Yes. So moving right along. Let me get a sip, because I gotta bust this rhythm real quick. Hold on. The little ditty that sent my sister to the studio to come out with blessings. What's really going on? What's really going on? What's really going on?
What's really,
What's really going on?
what's really going
What's
on?
really going on? What's really going on?
What's
What?
really going
Wiki, wiki, wiki,
on? Going
wiki,
on and
wiki.
on and on and on and on and on and on. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Listen.
Oh, I'm
Remix.
sorry.
Remix.
Uh, okay, I
Remix.
know it's the
Oh
50th
man,
year anniversary of hip hop and all that. I get
you
it. I
know
get
Listen.
it.
it.
I
We
get it.
here for it all year long.
I told y'all that's how we ended up with bars because we've been with hip hop since the inception.
That
But I want
part.
to go ahead and segue into that segment. What's really going on? So for those of you know, y'all know we do it for the culture, right?
We do.
Especially coming off this blackety black week I just came out of
Oh,
celebrating Juneteenth. Um, Dr. Umar Johnson was on a podcast where he was asked to share his thoughts on female masculinity, right? So this thing has gone absolutely viral. And I really want to, and I'm grateful that you're with us tonight, Queen Ayanna, because I really want to hear your views on what he had to say. He began to share and express his thoughts when the brother made the statement to him, well, what about the sister that choose Pookie and not me? The women are making the poor choices when it comes to men. And Dr. Umar Johnson was able to shine the light on the fact that women in the African American community in particular are not necessarily able to flow in their feminine energy. They carry a lot of masculine energy because they've had no choice but to be masculine because they've been responsible for not only the woman's role in rearing a household, but for the man's role. So it kind of toughens a sister up. I kind of wanted to have this conversation with you all tonight because, you know, we don't know if I'm single or not at this point. I'm confused. All right, I'm so confused. But one thing I decided to look at was me. I had to get my Taylor Swift on and say it's me. I'm the problem. It's me because I've heard people say to me in the past that I move like a dude. What? When it comes to relationships, I'm like, what do you mean? I mean, but then when I really started to check me, I heard the voice of a friend who reminded me, or actually pointed out to me that I didn't even realize somebody was flirting with me one day because we were out at an event. So my focus was the business that I was there to perform. I wasn't there trying to catch and be cute and maybe come home with a potential boo. I didn't realize somebody was flirting with me because I was in boss mode. I was flowing in my masculine energy, and my energy, I could have been married by now. Who knows? I could have missed my chance. So, can we talk about this a little bit? Karen, you have anything to share?
You know,
Real quick.
one thing that really did come to mind with hearing Dr. Umar. We don't always agree. Let me put that out. I do not always agree with him. But there was a twinge of something that was familiar. And so one of the gentlemen was saying, well, why do we have to deal with what they are considering, hyper masculinity or masculine feminine energy? And one of the things, and Ayanna, I know I mentioned this to you as well, in this season of moving into wifehood and being booed up, it's like there's certain things that I have to learn how to allow to happen and learn how to lean into the femininity. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm not bossing up, because part of this is who I am. But for the right person, and this is the challenge.
Say
For
it.
the right person, we can put needing to be boss on both sides down. But if there's nobody there, because life came through us, what am I not supposed to just make sure everything that needs to be done gets done? I recognize in the areas that I needed to grow. So I don't know if I'm gonna say I was the problem, but yes, and it wasn't a mannerism thing for me. It was, if it need to get done, I'm goal oriented, so I'm gonna do it. But what if when the gentleman comes, there's nothing for him to do because I'm going to do it all. So now in this season that I'm in right now, I've learned, okay, you know how we say, let a man be a man. Some people hear that and y'all take that to a whole nother level. But if he
Girl.
is supposed to become provider and priest in my life, that mean I gotta sit down sometimes. That mean I have to evaluate, okay, does it work for me and him? Because somebody else could be complaining. Trust me, I done got many complaints from folks who are like, well, I don't like this. Well, then you're not the one. The only thing that I challenge us for the sister side of this is, yes, we do need to figure out how can we become aware, because I don't think we miss opportunity or miss, somebody who gonna boo us up, because he gonna snap, be like, listen, I'm talking to you, you the one I want. But I do believe that we have to figure out what does that look like for us to discern whether I need to take a look or a second look at, wait, was you, who sent you over here? And are you the one that will allow me to sit down and receive God's grace in a different form than what
Yes.
maybe you?
Well, you said something. You said do it all.
Yes.
Okay. There's always room for something to be done.
Yes.
Okay. So in that instance, give him, he should have some space and to exercise what he needs to do in that relationship. So with you right there, I do it all. You see? So
Yep.
we're not the end to be all. Like we're not the
Yes.
end. Like there's still room, and once we start realizing that, no, it doesn't end with us. Let
Yes.
him walk into what he's supposed to do in the relationship and relinquish control. You see what I mean? And
Yes.
and it's not that, society, yeah, has pushed us into that position, but it could also be the way God made us. We for our purpose, right? So it's just a matter of linking or attracting that male, that man who understands our position. Okay, so the ones who might have been made that comment about you, you acting like you ain't for me.
That part.
He wasn't. I've experienced. I hate to say, for a description, mama's boy. And huh?
Nothing.
Girl,
But
I'm gonna drink this
look, I
lemonade.
didn't
I'm
even
gonna drink
plan
this
to have
lemonade.
this fan now, but you know.
Ain't you glad you got it? You in the room, uh-huh.
So no, and so I think everybody fits in where they're supposed to fit in.
I agree.
And
Yeah.
that's it, you know what I mean? But we do have to watch the control piece, and I'll speak for myself. Um, I have to be in a position where you might have to check me.
Boom.
You might and I have to be able to accept that and not feel like I have to defend myself. And that comes with security, being secure with yourself. If anybody, and that goes for male and female, if you're insecure in a relationship, you're going to always feel that you have to get the last word and all of that's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes across as masculine because you want to have the last word, and it's really not you being masculine, it's you being insecure.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Ayanna. I
Yeah.
mean, really good stuff. And as you were speaking, my whole deal at this point in my life is and I've said this, in conversations with people. Listen, and Karen, you know this about me. I need to get up in the atmosphere to feel what's going on. You could
Mm-hmm.
tell me something,
Mm-hmm.
but I need to see and feel.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know, is you jaw jacking like so many folks do? I need to know that you are worthy of my submission. Hear what I'm saying.
That
Mm.
part right there.
I
Hold
need to
on.
know that you are
Repeat that.
worthy of my submission, because here's the deal. Like I said, I was confused. I was confused because I know it's very easy for me to submit to a man of power because I'm powerful
Mm-hmm.
myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always made it known. If you are insecure in any way, shape, or form, I'm not the one you want to be with, boo. Because I be out here in these streets, networking, things like this. I need you to know I might be out there doing that, but trust and believe. I'm gonna be right back to you, boo. Once I'm finished with this boss business, doesn't mean that you aren't going to be the boss and the lord of the castle. But I need to see something. Somebody got his own. Let me see something. Now let me see something.
I have to
Gonna be
check
something. I'm
when
talking
if you
lights,
don't mind
camera,
me.
action. What? Oh, I'm sorry. I had a moment. I
Oh,
went back
I'm
into
sorry.
one
No,
of the
because
musical.
I didn't see the Umar interview. Was this a recent?
Hmm.
Was this recent?
It
Yes,
was.
this was
I was
recent.
concerned about the replay because some of our listeners is sensitive
Oh,
to some of the PG-13 language. I don't think he was rated R, but I think we had some PG-13 language in there. I'm like, nah, we'll just talk about it. But we may share some snippets of it on the page just so folks could dig in and join us in the conversation. Because here's the deal. When we hear things, it's always an opportunity for us to reflect a moment and say, is that for me? Maybe this topic is like, no, I don't agree with that at all. But I know that as we mature, one thing that we get, the more time that we spend with ourselves, the more time that we center ourselves in understanding what the meaning of life is for us. Natural D said it, emotional intelligence. We get to understand, what? It's not always everybody else, but I love, when you said, are you worthy of my submission? Because part of it just is, are you going to give yourself the opportunity to say, because I need y'all to know, listen, if he asks, I don't know what I just said, but in this moment, half the time, it ain't even about me trusting him. It's about me trusting God's plan for my life to say, daughter, I seen you work. I know your work. I know the testimony that you carry. Now you in a different chapter. Now this is a different dimension for you. And so as long as I promise you, I could never be with anybody in my life who wasn't doing something. It just is not who I am. But
that's
the
it.
same type of thing. If
That's it.
he's doing, then I'm doing, and then we could do together. So there's still business in our relationship because that's how the two of us roll. That ain't gonna work for everybody else's relationship.
That's right.
But the more, usually when I'm getting in my own way, like you said, that ego, moving yourself out the way, I find myself, I have to pray. I have to, because ain't nobody gonna survive. I always tell him, he don't want East Orange Karen to show up because East Orange Karen gonna take out the whole left side of the highway. But it's a real thing when you say, all right, Lord, I'm gonna need to pray, but not tell him off. Pray. How about that part? Like, that's a whole different situation.
That part.
I'm not going to tell him everything that's on my mind, but I'm going to my father, because even though this person is in my life and I'm making space for him as my companion, my partner, the priest and king of the household, as we're getting there, I still have a relationship with my father to say, I don't understand, you ordering my steps, but some of these steps turn it into kung fu kicks. And Lord, before I kick and knock something out, if you could work on me, Jesus, work on me, and
Because
be
right
okay
now,
with saying that, and being okay with saying that, and
and
no,
that's it. And that's it, Karen. You
Ah,
that's the principal piece. Prayer should be the centerfold of every relationship. Some people call it prayer, some people call it other things. But that piece right there, tapping in to that downloading system that you have really makes a difference. It really does. Because again, me doing that in prayer had me going like, ugh, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Now fix me, Jesus. Have your way, Master Potter. Because I know it is not your desire for me to be out here in these streets by myself for the rest of my days. No, you want me
yeah,
to to live out the rest of my life with the you predestined for me.
Mhm.
and he is not going to be intimidated. Make sure, you vet him properly. I like that fleece. That fleece is my thing. I throw that fleece out and I'm like, God, you know what I'm looking for. Let me see what show up. Hmm.
That
And
part.
you had said this to me last week, Karen. You said you quit. Yeah, I will grab my fleece and roll it up and move on in a heartbeat. Yes, I will. And won't nobody even know.
They
Um,
wouldn't even know you was there. I said, "Well, I'm not afraid of the side eye. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
there's no lies detected. There's no lies detected.
I'm feeling convicted about the mama boy comment.
But we're gonna give you
Well,
space. Go ahead. We're gonna
I'm
give
feeling convicted because no,
why?
no, no. I don't know because I don't like that, like mama's boy thing. I guess I couldn't articulate exactly the male that I was trying to describe. The
Yeah.
one that because doesn't it say that a man should stay cleave to his
Leave and cleave. That's
leave
right.
and cleave.
Leave and
So
cleave. Oh,
you know what I mean? It's how do
I
you
do. I do.
you know what I mean? So the mama's boy thing, the Holy Spirit kept tapping me, feeling like, you might want to clear that up a little bit because you want a man to love his mama.
You do.
that's
You
right.
do. You
You know
do.
what I mean? And you see how if he treats his mama, he's gonna treat you, right?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I guess to an extent, I guess, being able to make decisions, a little more assertiveness.
Absolutely.
The black woman especially coddles the black man to the point where it's like, okay, when you out of the nest, you know what I mean? What are you
Yep.
bringing to the table of your spouse, girlfriend,
Yeah.
that what I mean? So I guess that part with a strong woman as Uma or whatever, the woman that is showing the more of a masculine energy, they will cling to because they're looking for that that woman that's going to take care of business, assert taking care
Right.
of business, got to
Right.
so yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bittersweet thing with us
It
strong
is.
women.
It is. It is.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's as a mother of sons, that was one of my challenges of like, what's the balance? I want
Right,
them to know that I'm here for them. But
right.
listen, black man, you're gonna be making decisions for you and whatever household that the Lord put you ahead of. Yes, call me for advice, whatever. But don't be putting me in the middle of nothing between you and your wife, because that's not my place. Now, maybe for some mother in loves, laws, whatever title you go by, you feed that energy. But that's that household. I could give you advice on, hey, listen, this worked, or have you considered this? But even in those conversations, we got to use wisdom, because many of us only knew, and this is something, we just passed Father's Day, and I got a couple of people who will shout me out saying Happy Father's Day. I respectfully cannot accept that. I did my best to love these children. I did my best to probably overlove them and spoil their behinds in ways because of the physical absence of their father sometimes. But I'm not a daddy. And for me, the ones that did it right, I can't accept that, because that's all y'all deserve
Mm-hmm.
that. But we have a part to play as mamas, as aunties, as cousins, to put that accountability on our brothers, uncles, sons, fathers, grandfathers, and husbands, to stop this cycle, because it will always seem like it's somebody else's fault, when what if
Mm-hmm.
we each take responsibility for how we're showing up in the world and what that looks like.
Yeah, and I love that you segue to that piece of the conversation. Not only do we need our men to take responsibility and stepping in where they see there's no male presence, in a home where there are young men that need to be fathered in a way, we need to hold our young women accountable. Um, Not for nothing, Karen, you already know how Coach Peter get down off air in conversation when it comes to ushering sisters into the area of sit down at nest to be a wife. You know, sit it down. Yeah, sit down at nest. Yeah, sit it down because I need you to sit down and recognize that God has sent you a blessing that some of us are yet waiting for. So since your Boaz has identified himself to you, I'm gonna need you to sit in this corner and get yourself together. Esther was prepared, right?
Mm.
Before she was presented. So yeah, some of us who are able to look back and see some of our young women who are starting to flow in that masculine energy because they've just walked out of trauma and disappointment, what have you. We have to take up the responsibility and pick up the banner and saying, no, just because that happened, it's not who you are. You don't have to carry it. Be the safe space for them to have the conversations where we can truly help these young queens adjust their crown. So we don't have another generation of young women out here talking about that foolishness. I don't need no man. That's a lie from the pit of where the enemy dwells, y'all. I need you to understand something. Stop saying that foolishness. Because
Hmm.
if you didn't need a man, God would not have created Adam and Eve. And if I was to remove the names from the original created beings, he would not have established partnership from the beginning of time. You need a man. So if you, look, we coaches here. You got Coach Keita. I'm Life Purpose over here. You got Karen. She master. She gonna get at you at it with it all. But we that's what we do. Even within the sister friend prayer circle, we pray, we encourage. We've held on to each other to make sure that we reach our assignments. But and notice I say assignments. Young ladies, if you're feeling discouraged on tonight, understand that there is a man that's assigned to you. Be patient in the wait. Try not to get in your own way. And I promise you, I can say this from experience. He's looking for you. He's looking for you. You're just his type. You don't need to change a thing. He wants you in the package that you're presenting yourself in right now. And I mean
Hmm.
right now. So don't give up. Just change your conversation and change your relation. And be intentional about showing up as your feminine self more often than you're used to. I think that's good stuff. Anybody got anything else to add to this one?
That's good.
That's good.
That's good stuff. All
That is
right.
Yep.
good stuff.
All right. I got to put my TD Jakes on. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Did I do it right?
I think so.
Yeah.
All right. Get ready, get ready, get ready, y'all. We're moving towards that moment in time where you can get your mind, body, and spirit right. We are about to be fed because the Bible says he prepares a table before you. Well, we are not your enemies. We are here for you. And tonight, our in-house master life coach, Miss Karen Sims of Twisted Thread, she's about to come at you with yet another wonderful meal, a reflection of purpose. Go ahead, Karen.
We're excited to get to this part of the program because this entire segue for this evening has been all the way live. And tonight, y'all know it's not going to be no different from any other time. We got a title for you. Listen to the noise. Listen to the noise. I know a lot of times, when you hear people say, oh, the noise, and you want to ignore it, you want to figure out how to block it out. But here's the challenge with when we ignore the noise. When we ignore the noise, we miss the nuggets. When we ignore the noise, we miss the opportunities. When we ignore the nuggets, we miss the inflections. We miss how we set ourselves up for even greater expectations. So, tonight, we're reminding you to listen to the noise so that you can hear what's not being said. Tune in your ear to the frequency of what's going on around you, because a lot of times we find that we allow certain things to be louder than others. Are you allowing other voices besides your own to be the noise? Are you allowing other things beside the noise that the Holy Spirit brings to you? The messages, when we say order my steps, are you listening to that noise? Because if we're saying we're blocking out things, we may be missing listen the exact direction that we're praying for. So we got to listen through the frequency. There are messages that we heard tonight that weren't even supposed to be intended to be a message, but they were. They weren't intended to be prophetic, but they were. You came here for some laughs and giggles, and now you coming here empowered and trying to figure out how you going to germinate some seeds in a paper towel. You never know how the noise is going to impact your life until you allow it. And here's the thing about what we call noise. What we know as noise is sometimes we've been trained to block it out, but the real thing is noise causes vibrations within ourselves. When you get the noise that connects to you, that's how you know. A mother knows when their kid is screaming from across her mind. It's like, oh, I don't want to hear you, but I hear you. Because that frequency, that vibration that comes in, that family member, that voice that you know you need to hear, it's part of the noise. So now we focus on how do we separate direction in the noise from the things that are blocking out the actual messages that we're trying to get to. So when you see on the news and they hyping up one thing, y'all better go to your Google University and figure out what laws are they trying to pass while literally Ashgate is coming on, because they know they got our attention over there. So now they get to block out what is the next thing. Listen to the noise. You ain't gonna hear this nowhere else like this, because while everybody else is telling you ignore it, there's something in it just for you, and you being in the right frequency and the right frame of focus in the right mind will allow you to not miss what everybody else is dismissing. They could throw it away. It becomes your treasure to take it to the next level. That's what I got for y'all tonight. Listen to the noise and stay focused.
Yes, listen to the noise and stay focused. You know I'm here for it all day, every day. And look, we're at the end of the show. So I want to go ahead and say thank you again, Queen Ayanna, for sticking it out with us tonight.
Thank you. This was
Your
great.
input has been invaluable. I can put a price on it. You are definitely going to be coming back next season, so we can again build more and expand on what you shared on tonight. And y'all already know what it is. I'm about to turn y'all off with or bid you adieu with yet another just be word. And y'all might have heard me mention and ask Queen to stop, because she was already in my just be word for tonight. It was something that I was meditating on as I was driving into work this morning, and after a session with Beyonce, Michelle Kelly. And just be mindful of the process that a seed goes through to grow. Look, Ayanna said it's going to be some weeds down there, but some of those weeds are necessary. And, I got to go with the old cliche. We all need a little dirt to grow. So, look, if y'all was paying attention in science class, you know what happens. That seed gets down there and it's hidden in darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, someone extends grace and starts to water that seed. And eventually germination begins underground. And the next thing you know, you see a beautiful bud sprouting through the soil that eventually turns into a beautiful flower. So make sure that you stay mindful of the process that a seed goes through to grow. We all need a little dirt. Don't begrudge your hard season, because just like the process of flower goes through to come forth as spectacular as ever, trust the process.
Amen.
You will too. All right?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ladies.
You are so very welcome. Sisters. And you're welcome. We appreciate you, Ayanna, so much.
I had a great time. Great time.
Yes, thank you so much. Again, we told you we had good home training. So, Karen, you got anything else?
Just super excited. I told y'all we was going to be going somewhere with our passports. We always remind you, grab your passports, get your water, your green tea, whatever you do, get your dandelion. I think you could make some tea out of that too. Whatever you are doing, make sure that you stay connected to us. Why? Because this is what we literally are here for. We are here to inspire you, to give you good nuggets to take along your day, your week, and to make sure that if nothing else, we take the opportunity to continue to grow. So we're growing with y'all. We thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got a little Mimi shout out. My number 5 grandson, he's now singing the "What's Really Going On" song, trying to get the tune in.
Yes.
He said as well, listen, we doing it out here. And so super
Uh-oh.
excited for the growth. And this has been a long time coming. I tell you, my heart is super happy. Ayanna, we thank you so much for your yes. We thank you for who you are every day, even when the camera's not rolling, because that's what we get to see tonight. And so we just love when real ones come on the show and share themselves with us. So this was more than a treat for me, more than a treat for me. So that's all I got to say. And
Amen.
that's it.
All
We all
right.
need a little
Well,
dirt to grow.
we all need a little dirt
Don't
to
be
grow.
afraid of
That's
getting your
right.
hands dirty.
That's it. That's it. So I guess that's it. Um,
All right.
and thank y'all for tuning in. Go ahead,
Thank you.
subscribe, like, hit the notification bell so you know when we go on live. Again, it's about to be some gifts and surprises coming y'all way. Y'all need to pay attention. We out. Thank you.
Peace.